How about we bring in Rick Neuheisel, CBS Sports college football analyst.
Would you love somebody?
He was on site for Penn State's win over USC at the L.A. Coliseum. Rick, thanks for joining us. I'm not going to start there. I want to bring up something that happened in the Oregon game. Did Oregon put one over on Ohio State from the standpoint of they had 12 players on the field, second to last play, and it's only a 5-yard penalty if it's 12 players on the field, and then the clock doesn't reset after the penalty. So time, dripped down off of the clock, and then Ohio State got 5-yard penalty, but you took away 5 seconds on the clock. So did they pull one over on Ohio State?
Here's what I know about defensive coaches. They know every trick in the book. Years ago, Arizona State against UCLA, when I was coaching at UCLA, put 13 guys on the field on a second down and goal from the 7-yard line with 8 seconds left in the first half. Our quarterback couldn't find anybody to throw to, threw it out of bounds. Of course, the penalty, we get half the distance to the goal, but now it's 3 seconds left in the half, and we have to kick the field goal. So they basically got us. And it was 13 guys on the field there. Lanning had called timeout. He saw the bunch. When you play bunches, meaning 3 receivers clumped together, you usually play it in and out with somebody on the point. You're going to be out leveraged on one of those if 2 receivers go in or 2 receivers go out. You're going to have somebody that's going to be in a leverage disadvantage. When you put another player on top of that bunch, that goes away. This was the 12th player. The 5 yards were worth the 5 seconds. Brilliant by Oregon.
We're seeing these teams in the Big Ten going cross country, and it's not pretty. Now, I know Purdue won, or Penn State won at USC, but I don't know how you coach a time zone or 2 time zones, because this is going to be what life is like in the Big Ten.
Yeah, it's strange. This Penn State's was only the second victory. I think their teams are now 2-8 or 2-9 that have traveled 2 time zones. It is life in the Big Ten. It's going to be really interesting when we see all the other sports, basketball and softball and all the other sports start traveling like this, because they're not going to have the benefit of charter air. They're going to be traveling and making stops in different cities across the town and changing planes. And so, but this is the new normal, as you say.
I know USC was an underdog, but you're up 2 touchdowns. You're at home. Is the seat warm for Lincoln Riley?
He's lost 8 of his last 13 games. That doesn't sit well with Trojan fans, especially who, hit the wallet to make sure Lincoln would come. It was a brilliant game. Both coaches came out of their comfort zone. Lincoln ran the ball more than he likes to. James Franklin threw the ball more than he likes to. At the end of the day, Drew Aller was better than Miller Moss, and I wonder how long they can go with Miller Moss if he's not going to hit those passes down the stretch, because he's not a guy that can get out of the pocket. Jordan Mailata, the kid who they got from UNLV, is sitting on the sideline. I wouldn't be shocked to see him getting some chances here in the coming weeks.
But are the expectations too high for USC?
No, it's USC. I mean, they've won 11 national championships.
I know, but that feels like it's a long, long, long time ago, Rick.
But if they have the resources, which they do, to go and get the best and brightest across the country, which has always been the case. I mean, if you go to Pete Carroll, you go to John McKay, they always had players that came from far away that wanted to be part of the glitz and glamour of USC. Then you can put together a great team. They're better defensively, but they haven't stopped. They had 2 fourth-down chances on that final drive. This has got to get better, and it's got to get better faster. They're going to be some really upset Trojans. And when you have a fan base that gets divided, which was the case with Clay Helton, that just isn't united, then it's just a matter of time before the coach is the guy that goes.
He's Rick Neuheisel, CBS Sports college football analyst. Better pro prospect, Quinn Ewers or Arch Manning?
I think probably Arch, given the way we saw Arch run. Now Quinn, I think, is also a beautiful pro prospect, but Arch has maybe that X factor, which are the ability to get out of a pocket and make plays with his legs.
Could you imagine if Alabama lost 2 in a row?
The world would come off of his axis.
I mean
Dan
that.
Patrick.
I mean that.
Dan Patrick would cease to have a great time with the Danettes. What the heck?
I know, but you lose to Vandy at Vandy, then you come home, and I think everybody thought, poor South Carolina.
I said this the other day. I think college football we're in a new state of normal with the transfer portal because nobody has the just assembled depth that these blue bloods have had in the past because those that aren't playing get a chance to go someplace else and get paid to do so. So you're not stockpiling maybe the same way you used to. And the teams that you're playing, the South Carolinas with SEC resources, are going to have some really good players too. Vanderbilt is a perfect case. Clark Lee went and said, okay, I saw New Mexico State go in and beat Auburn 31-10 a year ago. Diego Pavia is an excellent little player in this offense. I'm going to go call Jerry Kill, and I'm going to say, Jerry, can I have everybody? Can I take all these guys, including 5 players, and have them come to Vanderbilt? And it says a lot about Vanderbilt that they said, I don't care necessarily about their academic situation. Bring them because we got to fix what's broken here at Vanderbilt. And now Clark Lee's got something going there in Nashville.
So the portal is bringing us parity. Is that a good thing?
It is. It is. It's fabulous football. I mean, I think it's the second time in since overtime began in the 90s where we had 4 top 25 teams in overtime games. If you don't like that, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Army and Navy are undefeated. Both have Notre Dame.
Stop the presses.
I know. Notre Dame, they both have Notre Dame coming up. They have to face each other as well. Is there a chance one of these teams gets into the 12-team playoff?
There is a chance. These 2 teams, and I talked to Jeff Monken on this, the head coach at Army. He loves his team. They were worried when the rules changed that you couldn't cut block from outside, that the triple option was going to go by way of the Whales. Well, they've got it back, and they both got quarterbacks in Horvath and Daly that are dual threat. They can run. They're both on task for 1,000-yard seasons as rushers, but they're also got the forward pass and hitting, big plays. So it's like the days of Tom Osborne in that kind of belly option world when you have to have safeties down there making tackles and all of a sudden are running people by them. You are hard to corral, and it's fun it's Doc Blanchard and Glenn Davis again, my friend. 1945, we're back. Where's the Glenn Miller Band?
You said the forward pass. You don't say that about any other teams in America. They're using the forward pass. It's like
Pop Warner is patting people up in heaven saying, "Come watch these kids."
It's like indoor plumbing. There you got the forward pass.
The stagecoach.
Great to talk to you as always. Thank you, Rick.
Always a treat. College football always delivers. DP.
That's the great Rick Neuheisel, CBS Sports college football analyst and former head coach.